Provider. Already. Well, then it's 50% of the deal. That is fun. All the taking is this why it's going to be all under give more than the costs are. They can pay unless the other party goes, that's what happens is like, hey, like, whatever this dollar around there. You guys can try to do a couple of escrow, but it is more they are from the program and let's use this one money. That is an option. As long as it's quarter there.
No, when it starts to learn, it's
So, your head when you had a bunch of lenders yet, so you could ask about that, but they say, well, they're closing college bar.
unless you want to go checking people in, or something, kind of has a group me.
Exactly.
Everybody would use that. Yeah, well, I mean, it's just right now, yeah. I just came in, I didn't have to be admitted.
Well, I saw that on the TV. Yeah. You guys can come up with a number 9 with our goalie. Taking it together. Okay. Oh, wait, yeah, that's your whole.
It's all classed up.
That out there.
Yeah,
I don't think it'll be back, like, well, you know, for posting wise, going to be, you know, 15 grand or whatever it was. Or what's compensation, you know, you 5 grand more than little cost, and it's 1.9. You know, if you had an additional 4 grand and put it good chance. Something like a work area, they were as much money there, and that goes forward. But if things, yeah. Yeah, it's just an idea, you know, could be another box and say, okay, let's get the clothes, you know.
Are you gonna stick for my class?
And awesome. And, you know, well, you know, and then one goes into it, clothing, and once before we done, it goes to too much. So, just, I mean, it is way more of a headache. If you could get, you know, if she could use $9,000 more, I think like that, an additional $9,000. So. And maybe papers away and, so, but I just wanted to put that in your head and be the wonder like, well, that's what we do, you know, $3,000. Well, let's give all that back and keep trying to figure out, but for now, I'm pulled out. There's something today, or something today, maybe we're for the sailor, well, I was for telling her. Now, if you don't back off of her more money, it's just over the one, then she just doesn't want to have it. You know, if you guys offer all that's not. There's something else going on. You're not. And the first time was the.
So how many people signed in for your class?
Nobody signed up because they didn't put a sign up sheet up there, so I have no idea who's coming.
Oh, okay. If you think you need to cancel it because it's only one, it's okay.
No, it's fine. There's a Zoom version, so there may be people that come on Zoom.
Okay. Cool.
And I will teach it anyway, even.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, you too, Jennifer. The rebound them, that's fault. And $72,000. Yeah. For everybody.
David said he was coming. I said, oh, good. He's a lighter liar. How are you? Thank you. Got some people. Got some pizza coming.
Oh, great.
Okay. You said password, but there's no link to reset.
No link reset.
No.
You have it.
There's no link. It's like, be careful. What I did, I did on. That's the other email, not this one.
Oh, so where's the one where it has
Yeah, you find it.
the password? Password. We did see the forward that.
Yeah, I did, yeah, I sent out then I'm really good. Okay, or say. There. Yeah. And log in, or password, do that, or password. Thank you, email for password, yeah.
We should got an email right now.
Wind up, still, because it doesn't give me any option, you know. Just wait.
That's, you know, how to use it correctly. That's the account that was showing that, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's right here.
I think I mean, that's the one.
Yeah.
So you should have got the emails again, should ask you to change the password.
Yeah. Yeah, over this one. Back to the left page, okay. See that? Where's that link to this one?
So you said that.
Yeah.
Put back there first.
Oh, I need to put the first.
Which back, they get that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there you go.
I see. Okay, I already do that, thank you. I was president of NAR name last year. Oh. I'm proud of it.
Here's that work. Here. Two-thirds of this class is youth. No.
Awesome.
Three quarters of this class.
Cool. Cool. That's all.
Hey, everybody on Zoom, I guess.
Awesome.
Everybody on Zoom nowadays, you know that is.
Awesome.
Are they consumers or just?
No, it's just me.
Yes, you. Sounds good.
Got a couple more people coming, and they're here. Okay.
You're shiny, Richie. You're pretty. I got you on speed.
No, I'm good.
They think the network.
Yeah.
So what's your name? Maria? Well, what is your name? Emily. Emily.
I'm Joe.
Joe, nice to meet you,
I
Joe.
love your name. It's so unique for yourself.
Thank you. Oh, that's my name. Yes. Liz. Nice to meet you guys. Okay. Maria, Emily,
Joe.
Joe, Lisa. Could you say your name once again? Please. Liz. Liz.
Bless them, I have.
Maria, Emily, Joe, Liz. Stephen.
Do they have you
Huh?
do they have you going out there? So?
They do. I don't have anybody that's logged in yet.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe they just, haven't turned on,
Come on, Reggie.
turned on, the power on.
Alright, we're gonna get started. Sit in the middle when you come in. You joining? Yeah. Awesome. What's your name? Connie. Connie, nice to meet you, Connie.
Nice to meet you.
Okay. Maria, Emily, Joe, Liz,
Connie.
Connie. Connie. Stephen.
Almost got it. Thank you.
This is great. I'm not gonna have more than just 1 or 2 people, because we're gonna do like a little bit of a brainstorm while we eat some pizza. So, thank you all for coming. I'm going to let our sponsor today, who's a member of my network, member of my BNI, which I have right here, Stephen Mean. Will you stand up and say a few words?
First of all, Karen, thank you very much for allowing me to come out here. I've worked with a couple of you already. I worked 1, 2, 3, 3 of you.
Yeah.
That's always good to see familiar faces. So I'm a inspector. I go and inspect your home with street clients. And, I love what I do. I love these clients. Sometimes I think things are alarming. So, but, one thing that differentiates me from other inspectors is that I focus in on the white glove type of service. I aim to get to know the client and try to see where they're coming from, to see if this is the first home, if they already have some type of concern about the property. And I generally tell them also in that conversation I first had with them is, what are some things that already concerns you about the property? That allows me to understand what they're concerned about and weed those things head on. When they're on site, I go through it and show them what I found. I tell them that's gonna cost $1,000 or more to repair it. Stuff that can cause $1,000 more worth of damage if not addressed, and safety concern. Tell them, you're gonna have a whole bunch of nitpicky small stuff in the report, just like any house has small nitpicky stuff. But the main reason why you hire me as inspector is to find those high dollar issues, which will ultimately cause you to regret purchasing the house. The following day, and by the way, my reports go out literally 30 minutes after the property. The only time it won't happen is if I have technology issues or slow upload speeds. Sometimes that happens, technology's not perfect, but normally 30 minutes after the inspection is complete, you'll get the report as a client. The following day, I normally follow up with a phone call, or unless I'm fairly certain the client understands, the house is clean and it's clean. Not very much to do it, but if I have any suspicion, I generally call the client, make sure you don't have any questions or concerns after the fact, answer your questions, because to me, it's important that the client fully understand any concerns are addressed. That's it in a nutshell. Take care of all the ancillaries, pass them over, scoping, among other things. But we're here to make your job easier in the future. Investing focus on contracts, keeping clients happy, and I focus on finding those issues which could hang up things, and also delivering any problems in a non-alarming fashion to keep the deal back. Okay. Any questions?
I have a question.
Can you talk about prices or?
Prices are square footage. Matter of fact, on the back of that pamphlet, there's a QR code. If you scan that, there's all my contact information about service I offer, pricing structure, additional service prices, everything you can need to know. You can scan that and get all that information.
I have a question for you, Stephen. So, do you think networking is important?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's very important. I need to do more of it, but sometimes when I need to do it, is when I don't have time, or I don't have time, I don't do it.
Right.
But it's something you have to keep doing.
Mhm.
A lot of my networking has, I come here to this meeting, the team meeting here every Tuesday. And that's how I'm scheduled to work. And I'm here because I want to be a resource. I want to be part of your team. I want to be part of this office. And I want to be seen. And being seen and being part of the office and speaking among agents like yourself, I enjoy doing it. I like listening to what's going on with the market. I like just interacting with folks. But it's important to have that camaraderie. Even if you are a veteran agent, whole opinion, you should be around other agents, talking shop, talking what's going on with it. It's not working. I meet with other home inspectors, who are also home team and stuff on a regular basis and talk, hey, what's working with it? Because it's important to know, because you can't be in business by yourself. You're not an island. You have to talk to other people, see what's working, what's not working. Find the resources, Sometimes you can end up wasting money on something that, a buddy of yours may have done and found out, hey, that's the waste of money they done. So that's what.
Well, let me ask you this. In addition to, we know buyers and sellers always get referrals for you, right? If you have a buyer or seller. What's also a really good referral?
Buyers sell, no, it's good for a while. Any agent's a good referral.
Does anybody here know an agent or agents? Yeah.
Well, that's how I work with Steve. I had a buddy of mine I was talking to, but who do you recommend? He said, call Steve. Call Steve. We have multiple trucks here.
Yeah.
And so that word of mouth, somebody saying.
So the referral was really good, yeah. So remember that, always, when you find somebody that's good, don't just keep them to yourselves, share them with other agents, share them with other people that could benefit from their services, so.
Yeah, I was just telling her, there's another agent in another office where I'm not even a preferred vendor there, I don't even go to the office. But he used me one time, and he liked my work so much, that he referred me to over 10 agents. And I have 3 generational referrals from that. So if you know someone that is new to the industry, old industry, you should, even both agents, I know they already have an inspector, and that's fine, that's great. But let me be the backup. Everyone needs a backup because, inspectors go on vacation, inspectors get overbooked, and that happens. Give me a call last minute. I'm here for you.
Awesome, well, thank you, Stephen.
Thank you.
Oh, we have some people on Zoom land. Hello, everybody. All right, so I'm gonna keep going. So this is one of my favorite sayings. If you don't know who Zig Ziglar is, you should definitely Google him, listen to a lot of his books, read a lot of his books. He's phenomenal. I got to see him in person, which was so exciting. He was a great, great speaker. He has since passed away, but he left a legacy. And one of the things he said is that you can get everything you want in life if you help enough people get what they want. And that really is what it's all about. What kind of business are we? The people, the relationship business, right? So that's what's really, really, a good thing to think about, okay? And, here's my contact information. And I have this PowerPoint and also have an Excel spreadsheet with some information regarding your network that, you can download and, add to it, kind of get you started in your network. So if you will text me or send me an email with your contact information, I will send that to you. So, in fact, the best thing to do, how many of you have created a contact for yourself in your phone? Okay, all you do is you add a contact, add your name, all your contact information, your work address, all of that, your website, everything in your contact. And then if you're somewhere, and I don't even carry business cards anymore. Because if I give somebody my business card, I'm not necessarily getting their information. If I get their information in the business card, then I've got to enter it into my phone and into command. So it's just easier if I say, I have my business card, let me text you my contact information. And if you don't mind, text me yours back. So the best thing to do would be to go ahead and text me your contact card if you can. And then when this is over, I will text you my contact information. And then I'll also send you some information. Okay? So the other name for this class is network or die. Okay? It is so important. You must network, period. Okay? The one thing, okay, so it's Keller Williams, right? We gotta talk about Keller Williams stuff. But the one thing, what is the one thing that by doing it, and I've added this consistently, will make everything easier or unnecessary. Networking can be that one thing, okay? But only if you do it right and you do it consistently. So what is a network and do you have one? Have you guys started creating like your database? Okay, who all is in your database? Who's some of the people in your network that's in your database?
Friends,
Well, that's fear. Who's in your network, like people that you use to service your clients?
easy question, you said, people that I use to service my.
Like, who's your network? Like, when I think of my network, I think of all the agents that I know, that I have on my phone, that if I could call them, they would take my call. I have Stephen is in my network. I have attorneys in my network. I have mortgage lenders in my network.
I was talking about the vendors outside.
Vendors,
I mean,
people that could potentially you send business to and they send business back to you. It's hard. Liz, you got a phone call earlier. Was it a client?
Yeah, friend and
Friend and client?
client.
Okay. Are they buying a house or selling a house?
One not in rush.
Okay, but they're gonna be doing something.
Right.
Have they asked you for any referrals, like to painter or lender? Yes, so they're in your network, right? You've got somebody to send to somebody. Think of it this way, those are people that you have, that you can call, that you can send business to, and that could potentially send business back. Okay? So what is no? Relationship building, right? We're in the relationship business. DSP, VCP, visibility plus credibility equals profitability. Okay? And just like in Cheers, it's also about breathing. Everybody knows your name. Okay, it's nice to go into a room, and I've had this happen where more people know me than I know in that room. Okay, because of my network. Okay. It's also very value driven. Okay, you can only expect referrals if you're referable. Okay, if people feel like they can trust you to do a good job. So people in your network, they need to have value. They've got to be referable also. Okay, so that helps your clients. That helps other people in your network, right? So like I was asking Stephen, what makes a good referral for you? And he said, well, agents, right? So I have agents in my network that I can help him build his business. okay? And sometimes it does help yourself. Now, the thing to think about is kind of like good karma, right? Just because I send Joe a referral, I don't have to necessarily think Joe has to send me one back. That's not how it works. I send Joe a referral, and then Maria sends me one, right? The universe knows that I've given a referral, and then referrals come back to me, okay? So it's about giving without expectation necessarily of getting something in return. So networking isn't just for profit, it can also be fun, fulfilling, and friend making. So think about organizations that you belong to where you have friends. Anybody have an organization where you,
I'm a member of the Josh Creek Chamber of Commerce.
okay, that's,
And, you know, we do networking every week and, there may not be a lot of leads from that group, at least, but you're always being able to talk about what you do and programs. So, yeah.
right. And this class might help you understand how to optimize that network, okay, and those relationships. So, you can also think about it this way. Like I have several networks. Like I'm a member of the Gwinnett Chamber. I go to those networks. I'm a member of BNI. So that's another network. I actually enjoy going to BNI. Everybody in that room I've gotten to know on a deeper level and created a relationship. They are my friends. And I go there and we have fun, crack up, okay? So it's enjoyable.
Tell us what BNI is.
BNI is a networking, it's called Business Networking International. So it's the largest closed networking group. So like I have the only residential real estate seat in the room.
And how many are in your network?
So there's 40 in my
40.
40, but nationally,
Oh, yeah.
there's hundreds of thousands. And in fact, I'm part of an agent BNI network on a global scale that if I've got business to send, I can, of course, look for a Keller Williams agent, but I go to BNI and find an agent there. And I've gotten business from that network. Okay.
Yeah, I thought of
But also think about free stuff or things that you might do that you don't mind spending the money. So church, right? Things like that. Lastly, it can be free, okay? It's not about spending money. This costs me money every year. Now, a good return on my investment, I closed over $100,000, and thank you for closed business from BNI alone, okay? But that took a lot of work. I've been in that for 10 years, okay? But some people play tennis, right? That's their network. Some people play pickleball. Some people go to church. Some people, you know, I have a women's wine group that I'm a part of. I love drinking wine. So that's something that's fun. It's not necessarily a huge, you know, financial commitment. Working is not. What is it not? It's not fast, okay? You can't expect to go to a networking, like go to your chamber and expect the next day to get business friends, okay? It's something you've got to develop, okay? Develop those relationships. So then they feel comfortable sending you business. Sometimes you have to send somebody business a lot before you start seeing anything in return, okay? It's also not transactional, okay? It's not about selling to them, getting them to buy a house with you, and then you're done, right? It's about repeat business, okay? It is not easy, but most importantly, it's not selling, okay? So have you ever had somebody say, oh, I'd really like to take you to lunch, maybe a lender, okay? Or an attorney or somebody. They take you to lunch, and then the whole time they're selling to you. They're telling you about all the products that they provide, how much such good service they have. It's almost like a commercial, right? They're selling to you. When that happens to me, I'm thinking, how the hell can I get out of here fast enough, okay? That's not a good experience, right? That doesn't create a relationship. So I recommend that when you do a one-to-one with somebody, that it's about them. It's not about you. You want to listen to them, you want to have a real conversation, you want to get to know them. Again, create the relationship. do not sell. Sometimes when you ask questions, make sure you have the same answer to the questions you're asking them, but don't go in with the idea that I'm gonna, have a referral partner for life. And people love to buy, people do not like to be sold. Okay, just looking, that's my famous phrase, right? I go to a car lot when I need to buy a car. I'm not just looking, right? But somebody says, can I help you? It's like, it's okay, I'm just looking, right? But you go back when you are ready. So my degree is in, I may have 10,000 spelling issues in my PowerPoint, okay? But I do know math, and 150 equals 9,000. Okay, y'all believe me? Okay, this is it. Everybody has probably about 150 in their database. If they were going to have a party, have a wedding, okay, you're gonna send out on average 150 invitations, right? So you probably have 150 people in your sphere, okay? So NAR estimates that once every 5 years, we know it's probably over 10 years, 1/5 or 30 people will be moving each year. In other words, about 20%. So 150, and of those 150, they know 150 people. So that's $22,500 in your community today. Okay, you know, or know somebody that knows over 22,000 people, okay? And if 20% of them are moving each year, 4,500 people in your community are moving, and that equals 9,000 potential sites, right? Because if there's 45 houses selling in your network, there's 9,000 sides to that. And we know that a lot of people that we do business with buy and sell. So that's usually 2 transactions, okay? So major takeaway, and I like this equation the best. The number of referrals that you should expect to receive is equal to 2 times the number of referrals that you give. You've got to give more than you expect to receive. Okay? So this is the new script. Okay, everybody loves scripts, right? This is an easy script, 5 words. How can I help you? So when you do those meetings with potential referral partners, people in your network, or you're at a networking event, how can I help you? What's going on? What is the challenges that you're facing? Okay, and how can I help you solve those? All right. So you want to give with generosity without expecting something in return. You want to recognize. Now, when is the best time to reward somebody for giving you a referral?
I guess when they give it to you, right? If it's low.
Right. You need to remember, like I've got this one referral partner, she sent me 4 referrals. And they're pretty good referrals. I close any of them. But every time she sends me a referral, I send her a thank you, some form of thank you, because you want to reward the behavior. If you're not closing them, that might be your fault, okay? Or it may be down the road, but you want them to keep referring you, so you want to reward that behavior. So you want to create a sense of community, okay? So like I have this women's wine break that I mentioned. So if I go to a different networking event, or I have a woman in my network that I like, I will invite them to the women's wine that I do. And it's also that exclusive activity, right? So like I may know 10,000 lenders, but I can't give that many, I wish I could give that many buyers, to my lenders, but I can't do that. So I have to find 2, maybe 1, 2, or 3 lenders at most, no more than 3 people for any one job, okay? So like a lender, you have, lenders court you all the time. It's good to have that 1 or 2 2 lenders that are your go-tos. Okay? If they mess up, they're off the list and you gotta replace them, right? But that's kind of, what you wanna think about. Pest control. Like I have several pest control people in my network, but I really only have 1 or 2 go-tos. Okay? So I send them business, and then if I learn, some of them are not, there's never any reciprocity. Okay, I just want a chance, okay? For every 4 transactions, give me one chance, okay? So if I'm not getting any, then maybe that person just has somebody else that they're committed to for real estate services. So maybe that's because they've got a dear friend in the family that's a realtor. Maybe their wife or their husband is a realtor. They may never send you a real estate deal, right? So tell them you appreciate them, but find somebody else to fill that hole, okay? This, I like this because it shows sphere of influence leads referrals. This is like your source of your business, right? And you have qualified referrals, right? So a qualified referral is different than a lead. Okay? A lead is something anybody could get, right? You have a website, you do Facebook, social media, boosting, you have open houses, people come to your open houses. Those are all leads, okay? What's different is a qualified referral, somebody that comes to you that's referred by somebody else, okay? Or that you've qualified them. They are buying, they're ready, willing, and able right now to buy this property. So what ends up happening is that network ends up being in the middle, okay? Your network is part of your sphere, okay? They're in your database. You may even sold them a house, okay? But they also, you're sending them qualified referrals and they're sending you qualified referrals. So it goes both ways. So the side effect of a good network, okay, it builds your business. If nothing else, when you add somebody to your network, you're adding them to your database. So you have a sphere, right? And that's where we get most of our businesses from, our sphere, okay? So you're growing your business that way. Even if they never send you a referral, they may one day use you, okay? It also creates referral opportunities. So referral partnership, okay? So I send a referral business, like I send referral business to Stephen, okay? He's got a lot of agents. Am I expecting him to send me business? No, but I am expecting the universe to send that business back to me. Unpaid sales team. So I'm in BNI, and because it's closed networking, I'm all about referral business and that, okay? So I consider my BNI group my unpaid sales team, okay? I have nurtured those relationships. I taught them how to sell me, and in return, they taught me how to sell them. Because sometimes I could send a referral to somebody in my BNI, and it could be a horrible referral. They would never close that business in 100 years. But they give me feedback and teach me why that isn't a good referral. And so I don't waste my time or their time. And I become part of their sales team, and they become part of mine. So it also creates a sense of reciprocity. Now, even though I said I don't have to expect a referral back when I give a referral, but if you do it enough, they will start thinking, hey, I probably do need to give her some business back, okay? There is that sense, right? If somebody, let's say a mortgage person, sends me a referral, qualified referral, am I gonna take that buyer and all of a sudden send them to shelter? If it didn't come from shelter, then I'm probably, that would honor the referral, right? So that's important. It also creates added value to your clients, thereby improving your value proposition, your sphere's go-to resource, and keeps you top of mind. So let's talk about your value proposition. So let me give you an example of where my network of agents in Metro Atlanta has benefited one of my clients. So I have somebody in my network who was the broker of Open Door, a qualifying broker for like 15 states, okay? He was powerful. Now I've known him 8 years, okay, for a really long time. He would never send me a referral, right? Because this company does that sort of work. And I would never send him a referral necessarily. So, but I had a client, a buyer in my sphere, my BNI, that wanted to buy an Open Door house. And it was overpriced. It'd been on the market for a long time. We made an offer. They countered, a little bit higher than we wanted to go. We were worried about the appraisal. We didn't do an appraisal gap, didn't ask for one. We went under contract. They really wanted this house. Guess what? It didn't appraise. It's actually appraised for less than we thought it would. We got a second appraisal. Came in a little bit higher, but still not high enough. So I sent all this data to Open Door, to my contact there, defending the appraised value, and said, my client will pay $10,000 over that price. Well, we can't go any higher. And I was getting around. They were saying no, 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 until they were blue in the face. So guess what? I reached out to my friend at Open Door. He stirred the pot a little bit and they accepted. So by my having that contact, that person in my sphere, it wasn't just a contact, but somebody that I know, love, and trust, okay? They were willing to help me, where they might not have helped just me, right? So that network helps your clients, okay? I'll give you another example. I had a client closing their house, they were selling to Open Door. My friend is no longer with Open Door, but anyway. So he was selling to Open Door, I was representing him, he was the seller. We got the settlement statement, and it had a $12,000 payoff to some attorney. We got there, and they're like, well, you know, this showed up on title on your property, you have this loan to Publix Employees Credit Union. He's like, I've never worked for Publix, I've never had an account with them, it's not me. And they were like, they verified it. Well, it was Open Door title. Well, we were closing it at Kelly. So I reached out to Ashley. Ashley looked into it, said that, well, you need to verify that they actually verified that $12,000. We didn't sign. An hour later, they found out, yeah, they didn't fully verify it. So they took it off and we closed, no problem. $12,000 in my client's pocket. I was a hero. I was a hero. He posted on Facebook, said how wonderful I was. But guess who was the real hero to me? Was Ashley, stepping in and pulling some strings, because it would have been hard for him to have gone after the fact and gotten that money back. And so sometimes your sphere, your network can help you look good. Okay. And it's important too that people in your neighborhood, like I have a neighbor across the street. She bought the house. I didn't represent her. I was not her buyer's agent. She bought this property and she's asked me for so many referrals. She doesn't go to her agent. She goes to me. So guess who I think when she gets ready to sell is going to come to? It's going to be me because I've become her go-to resource. Okay. So it keeps me top of the line. So you want to think like a business. You want to have a plan. Okay. You need to recruit good salespeople for your team, all right? And you want to educate them on how to refer you. You want to have good feedback, okay? They send you a lead and it's a lead, not a referral, you need to educate them. You know, if they sent you somebody they found on Facebook, that's a lead. They don't know that person, that's not a qualified referral. So that's a way to kind of educate them what really does make a good referral for you. And you always want to reward them, and you always remember to have fun, because people don't add anybody to your network that you don't like, okay? Because if you're not going to want to use them, what do you think your clients are gonna think? And if they do refer somebody to you, they're probably gonna send somebody just like them. Okay? Right? You're probably thinking of somebody. So always pick people that you like, that you can have fun with, okay? People may not always remember what you said or what you did, but they will always remember how you made them feel. Okay? Those people that I helped get that $12,000 back, they'll never be surprised. Okay? Because I helped them feel secure, I took care of them, I got them more money than what Open Door was originally offering. Open Door paid me, not them. So, you know, why would they ever use anybody else? And they're gonna refer me to everybody. So you want to create a master list, and I do have a master list. So I don't have that printed, but what I like, 2, 4, 6. Why don't we pair up? And I'm gonna give you this, and I want you to look at it. I will email you if you text me your contact information. I will email you the spreadsheet. But I just want to kind of go over this a little bit. So you two want to get together? You want to get? Oh, you're gonna sit up there. Once you get together, Connie, and you two can start. So people on Zoom land, I'm going to upload. I'm going to try to upload.
Go back.
So I just uploaded the network list, it's an Excel spreadsheet. So if you're in Zoom land, you can download that. So I just want to talk about a couple things. So your haves and have not lists, okay? This is good. Go through here, start with this, and put down everybody that you already have. Okay, so you know who you have in your network. And then that opens up, who do you need in your network? So, like, for example, and the way I have the spreadsheet set up is you have your source of the business, like where you got that, what network, or, you know, is it in your sphere? Like, where did you get that person? What industry is it? And that's what I would use in Command as my tag. Okay, because if I'm looking for, say, an attorney, I'm going to go to legal and accounting, see all my list of attorneys. Okay, and you know what their specialty is. Okay, again, that could be another tag. You want to get really specific, or just, you know, put it somewhere in your notes. Their name, their company, their phone number, email. Okay, don't make it too complicated. If they become a really good resource for you, a friend, and you want to put other things in, like their anniversary date, when they bought their home, what's their birthday, you can add all that later, but for right now, just keep it simple. Create your network and start adding to it, okay? So, and you may go to a networking event and you may run into somebody that you don't have anybody like that. You know, you may run into somebody that's a dog walker, okay? I don't have a dog walker, okay? Maybe I have a senior citizen that needs a dog walker, okay? Or I've got a listing and they're at work during the day, so I need a dog walker. So that's somebody you don't have. Get their information, make an appointment for a one-to-one. make sure they're referable before you start sending your business, okay? But that's somebody that you kind of got in your head, I need to fill that line. Okay, you happen upon somebody. So, business services, copiers, printers, break room services, commercial insurance agents, IT professionals, listing vendors, photographers, stagers, videographers, printing companies, social media marketing, SEO developers, marketing and advertising. Now, some of these people, and just text me and I'll send you the PowerPoint later. Is,
What do you call this PowerPoint? I haven't.
it's my networking PowerPoint, so, yeah.
Thank you.
So just text me your contact and I will send this to you. So, and they're also listed in here, okay? So these are business services that I could use, right? I need stagers, I need photographers, I need SEO developers, I'm going to create a website, right? So this is somebody I might have, I'm referring me to them, okay? But also, I know other agents, right, that need stagers. I know other agents that need copiers. I might know a business, right? I might know a copy company that needs marketing and advertising, right? So I might can marry them, get them together, okay? Network, okay?
One question, I have a large list kind of like this that I got from another broker that I worked with, and then I keep augmenting it and putting my own down when I find people that I actually work with. But I've never thought about putting them into my command database. So I keep it separate so I can scan it and find it, but you actually put all these into your command
I do.
database?
Because I want to market to them. Like, I want them to know what I'm doing. And they're people, right? They own houses, they buy houses, they might own investment property. So I want to add them to my sphere to service them as if they're our clients. Okay,
Sorry, when I said, what's the name of this, I meant, when we email you, what's the name of your spreadsheet? I asked for it.
it's called Network List. It's
It would have been obvious to me.
it's pretty easy.
Thank you.
So, so if you look at this, the very top, I'm gonna skip over this and go to the next page. Don't forget your niches, your specialties. The riches are in the niches. Okay? So if you're new and you want to grow your business, go take a class, get a specification. Like, I got my senior real estate specialist certification. In that class, they talked about creating your team to service clientele. People who were either staying in their house or selling. You gotta get in there at some point, because at some point, that house will have to be sold, right? Or maybe not. People can, inherit the property and move in and never sell it. But by servicing the senior community, you have to have a network. You have to have your team of people. So they will teach you who all you need to go in there. They have a list. So some of this comes from that list. So if you see, I have 1031 exchange specialist. That was something that they talked about in my SRES class. Pet boarding, veterinarian, charities that pick up, right? Because sometimes if they're getting ready to sell their house and they gotta get rid of stuff, they need a charity that will come pick up stuff. Because they may not be able to go deliver. They need junk removal, all these kinds of things. So you kind of figure out, you have certain groups that you specialize, that you're niched in with, and who do you need to service them? Okay, so if you become a senior real estate specialist, that's one way that you can do that, okay? So charities, volunteer activities, church groups, those are niches, right? Playing tennis, that's sort of a niche. You could volunteer for a charity, okay? I got roped in to volunteering for a nonprofit. I ended up starting on the board of the nonprofit. for many years. I got a lot out of it. I enjoyed it. It was a wonderful experience for me. I sold a lot of people in that nonprofit houses. I sold their houses. Now I'm looking for investment property to service them. So that one little activity has created more business for me. Okay, so find a niche that you have passion about. Okay. And last but not least, other real estate agents. Okay. Networking with agents is really important. You've got to build your network full of agents, even people who you normally compete with for listings, right? So I'll give you an example. So many years back, okay, not like now, we have very little inventory, but it was a slower market, not a super slow market, but you know, about 30, 45 days on the market. And I had a listing that I could not get them to come down on price. I would just went in like every week trying to get them to come down, But they have these power lines in the backyard, okay? It was a beautiful house, but that's what was hurting it, and they just were not listening to me. So a group of realtor friends that I know, all top producing agents, more than me actually at the time, I said, let's do a caravan, like a little agent caravan, small, there's like 5 of us. They each had a house, and we went to every property and we did a feedback form on every property. So I showed that house to 5 top agents that probably had 5, 10 buyers in their pocket. Okay, they gave me really good feedback. So then when I went back to my seller and said, this is what these top producing agents with 10 buyers in their back pocket is saying about the house, about power line, and the price. It's not just me. They're like, okay, so they lowered the price and they got the house sold. So having that network of agents helped my client get something sold, right? That was cash in my pocket. Those agents helped me do that. Okay. Not to mention when you go to a conference, you go to a family reunion, or you go to any kind of conference, it could be, you know, your church group meets for a conference or something. Try to network with other agents. Okay. So, and when I say network, it's not just about giving them your card. It's about creating those relationships. Friend them on Facebook. Do a Zoom meeting. When you're in town again, go have coffee with them. So then a lot of people in other parts of the country have people moving to Atlanta. You want to be their go-to person. Okay. Commercial. If you don't do commercial, you need a commercial agent. Okay. I love David. Love him a lot. I sent business to him. But I also have a commercial real estate agent that doesn't do residential. So that's good. I have 2 commercial agents. And one that I'm in his network now. So I get business from him. So, you know, it kind of goes both ways. One thing that I try to tell commercial agents that I know that are not members of NAMAR or Atlanta Board, they're members of their commercial real estate association, is they need to have a secondary with a local board, because there's a lot of residential agents on that board that don't do commercial, and that way you can make those connections, create those networks. So if you know a commercial agent, get them to join as a secondary to NAMAR, wherever you belong. Okay, you're a member of NAMAR. Because I've been on committees with NAMAR, I've been on the board of NAMAR, I've done stuff with NAMAR, I've met not just other real estate agents, but I've also met loan officers, inspectors, home warranty people. I mean, I have met a lot of people, okay? So that helps my client, right? I can better service them because I have a bigger network than the average agent. So get involved in your association. Right, Ms. President-elect? Right, get involved. Get involved. Let me ask you something about agent referrals. Where do you live? Alabama. So would you say you could do any business without your realtor friends in Atlanta?
Could I do it without mine?
Yeah.
No, I could not.
So that's very important. And you were president of Women's Council Realtors, right?
Correct, 2 years.
So do you know a lot of agents throughout the country?
I know throughout the country,
So do you get business from other
throughout
agents
the country,
throughout the
and I refer them business as well.
right? So when you refer them, do you get paid on that?
Oh, yes.
It's great, it's great. Right. So it's important to have friends in real estate. They are not they're your competition, but they're not your enemy. Okay? They're your friend. We need each other.
And I've learned in that too. I used to just look for just KW agents across the country. Now I've gone even further. And then I went from KW agents to have they served on the ALC if they've been bold. And then I went further. Are they CRS or RC? What designations do they have? Because I know how important that is because it just builds your education. But then I've also looked, do they do community service work? And are they invested in RPAC? Because to me, that's important, that they're giving back to their industry. And that, then your circle gets smaller.
Exclusive.
It's exclusive.
But you know, when you refer them, you can trust them.
And
So-
one thing I've learned from this networking that you're talking about in your, let's say, women's council, or whatever you might be doing. If you end up going and you get active in these things, you get active in Amor or Plan Board or wherever you are, you might be showing somebody's property and you can call them and you can go, Susie, Gretchen, I'm showing your property, and she'll be like, oh, bring me an offer. And I have had it happen that I have gotten an offer accepted just because we had been networking in a group together like
They knew you.
and they knew me and they trusted me. So it pays off that way too.
It does. It adds to your value proposition.
It really does.
So use this list to fill in the people that you want to focus on first. So one thing that I did is the first column under source, I put TBD, to be determined. Those are my number one people. I actually have a lot of this filled in, okay? So, but you need to fill in your own information. So a foundation repair person. So again, go to networking events with that in mind. But you can also do, and I think I'm jumping ahead of myself, triangle trust. So let's say I don't have a CPA, or I have one, but doesn't really do a good job either, okay? So, or my CPA is in Utah, which my CPA is in Utah. So it's very hard for me to refer my CPA to clients, okay? So I need a really good CPA. So I use my triangle of trust to find a CPA. So you go to your network, then you go to your sphere, okay? But I go to my network first and say, hey, Gretchen, do you have a good CPA? No, I don't have a good CPA. I'm looking for a really good one. If I find someone that you like his info, yeah, I would love it. Okay, so I've got Gretchen in my pocket, okay? And then I call Connie and say, Connie, do you have a good CPA? She said, the best CPA. He's phenomenal. On a scale of 1 to 10. Oh, he's an 11. That is great. Will you make an introduction? You send him an email, say, I've got this realtor friend, she's wonderful. I think it'd be great if you could meet her. And I respond back, oh, George, I think I'd really like to get together, learn more about your business. Can we do lunch? So I meet him for lunch. And again, I don't sell to him, right? I'm learning about him. I'm figuring out, is he somebody that I would want to refer business to? And I meet him and she's right. He's not only an 11, he's a 12. I would love to be in his network, okay? Connie's not a real estate agent. She's a mortgage broker, okay? So we're not competing necessarily. So at that point, I say, I'd really like to create a referral relationship with you. I'd like to be able to introduce you to clients, my network that need a really good CPA. Would that be okay with you? Yes, and I always ask, who is your go-to real estate agent? It's okay. They don't know you. It's not going to be you. It's going to be somebody else. You do what Stephen said, just make me effective. If they're not available, please use my name. Or if you give out realtor information 4 times, just give my number once, please. That's all I ask. Oh, and by the way, Gretchen needs a good CPA and I need a good CPA. So here's her information. I'm giving you a referral before you've ever given me one. Okay, then I've got my CPA, I get his contact information, he goes on my list. Now guess what I've done? Gretchen's not a real estate agent, she's somebody in my network. So I made that contact, I made that call. Then I call her back and said, I'm the best CPA for you. This guy is wonderful. He's not, Connie thinks he's 11, I think he's 12, you really should do something. So it's about creating that circle of trust, okay? That triangle of trust. Then you go find somebody else that you need, okay? I need a carpenter. Who has a good carpenter? Again, you could call real estate agents, right? They could give you a really good one. But if they're their go-to, you don't really want to infringe on them. So I usually go first and other people in my network first to fill this, okay? So, but my contractor, my foundation guy may know a really good one. Okay, and then, you know, I could call up somebody in my sphere, do you have a really good handyman? Do you think you could use one? And so I always try to have a couple in my pocket when I do that first meeting. And you don't have to, but that's a nice little way of getting in there, creating that trust level with them. Networking events, how to do it, what time is it? What o'clock? You guys want pizza?
It's here.
Let me see if it's here.
It's out there, don't
It's out there? Okay, let's take a break. Please come back. And we'll finish. I'm gonna get some pizza.
I'm sorry, you live on the,
No, I live at Lake Martin. It's between Auburn, Alabama and Birmingham. It's the largest, it's bigger than Lake Lanier. It's the largest body of water in the state. Now the reason I'm in, I'm in Portugal, born and raised in Atlanta, went to University of Georgia. My husband, all his family went to Georgia. I have 3 treasures in my house, off to Auburn. And then they went to Auburn and they said, we're never coming back. So we figured the only way we never see them, I got 2 in Birmingham and 1 in Mobile, Alabama. We figured, well, we better move somewhere. So, yeah. That's it.
I just wondered if you were back.
Oh, no, I'm here because I'm working. I'm working, unfortunately. So, yeah. The good thing about your job, you can do a lot from home.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna get back in my office for a minute while y'all waiting.
Unfortunately, I'm not gonna be able to follow you. Sorry. All kind of stuff on my own. Just curious, are you from?
No, my husband has a business that's quite big. And so there's, he's 2 business partners. They both live out there. He's here. It's an engineering firm.
I'm from Harvard, so,
Really? Where?
it's a little town, Canab.
Yeah, I know Canab.
You've been to Canab?
I've been to Canab. Yeah, so yeah, so when my kids were little, we would go there. Spring break, we go in the summer, and we go to Christmas. We go a lot. We go to all the national parks. And, so we've been to all of the national parks. We've been to Oak Grove.
Have you been to Snow Canyon?
No, I've been to St. George.
Snow Canyon is just wet. St. George.
Really, it is nice.
Thank you. I like where you're next to this. I like President.
And like we've been to, you know, a lot of the ski resorts in the summer, go hike and take the lift up and then hike down. So we've done that.
Have you been to Brian's? Do you ski?
Everybody's not gonna do this.
I haven't, because, you know, I worry about southern people.
Yeah.
So it's not really ski, but I keep wanting to go to Brian's to ski at a resort in, right outside of Peter City. Well, it's just curious.
Yeah, I love it there. Well, send me your contact. I'll send you the stuff so you have it. There's some books that are really good. That is in the end of the slide.
I wanted to ask you one really unrelated networking question. Question unrelated to networking. I'm really in sales. My technical background, I feel like you, somehow you've overcome that disability I have not. I'm just really, sold our client. And I knew it was gonna be no struggle. Because it was so much fun. Everything must have. I told it that, you know, I put in our home appraisal gap. Somebody put in budget, I could, get the buyer to agree to ensure that it is a price line. And, you know, no, all he remembers is we didn't get what we should have gotten from the original contract.
But it's all about setting, so I know a lot of really good agents that are held in. You know, Amy Hughes. She does a lot, she's all in. So, but it's all about creating expectations up front. And you always go back to those expectations. And one thing that we do is when we have that we're worried about price, we do it. But we always give them the comfortable use.
No,
What the ones I don't want to use, actually, I don't use it. And if I know that there's a problem with it, if I put them in the package, I'll say why not to use it. Because they're looking at. And then I give them a list of all the dollar. And I run an RPR. Learn how to do RPR.
I like to do RPR, which is always my experience.
Yeah.
Over.
Well, that's what you want. See, I was an actuary, it's always about, you know, you got this practice, you gotta figure out the statistics and whatever they spend it.
I mean,
I create that package and I email it to the appraiser before they come out, especially the, but we're constantly come out. Then we show up with that and give it to them. And so if your seller knows. But if you go over and above, you try to get it for them, and then they still don't get it, they can't blame you because you said, it's under the price. I did everything I could, I gave you the best comments that I could. I stated your case, make them give you the list of that price. So you're not. So you have an area for improvement. You know what I'm saying?
It's all genetics.
It is, it's about, so there was a time, because I didn't start out with this, and my broker was at the meeting. She said, I feel so bad because I have more faith in you than you do. And that always stuck with me. So I realized I gotta have more faith in you. I don't think I'm doing a good enough job. I'm gonna figure out how to do better. It always works. But when you've been in this business enough, you remember that. So you're really.
I mean,
So we know you know what.
I just. I mean, I know.
Even Gretchen, even David, you know, politicians. So just create those areas of it, you know, like set realistic expectations. Always go back to them. It's always about communicating and feedback.
Well, he wasn't, you know, upset with me. I just felt like, I don't know how to reiterate, hey, remember.
That's what you're doing. You gotta do it. Well, it's about creating that expectations. Then we can run that.
I guess if I do it periodically, slyly, it won't be as abrupt as if you have to open the camera. Remember we sat?
I told you so. I know. Wait, are you sure you have to leave?
Yeah, yeah, my mother's birthday.
Oh, okay, that's important.
Enjoy your pizza, we don't let you eat.
Oh, no, I'm good. Okay, did I lose a bunch of people? No, people still on? Okay, let's keep going. People will come back. Start that. Thanks, everybody, for holding out. I'm not ready to that. Say that. Who's that? What you gonna do? Am I right? Liz, phone's ringing. Start back. Network. What was her name? Oh, Hannah. Hannah. Hello?
Hey,
What are you doing? All right, I'm gonna get going. It's cold in here. Okay, so networking events, how to do them? So one thing that you need to do, if you want to join a chamber or go to the Peachtree Corners Business Association meeting or go to a BNI, one thing that I recommend that you do is you figure out, is this gonna fit into my schedule on a regular basis? So I can go to it on a regular basis and be consistent, okay? So you don't want to go to something one time, okay? Remember visibility, gotta be visible, you gotta go enough, so people recognize you. Become cheaters, right? You want everybody to know your name. So, and that's the thing, sometimes you go to these things and there'll be other agents. But if they're not going every single time, you get a leg up because you start going every single time. Okay, that really helps. So, is it a strong group? Is it a big group? Is it a profitable group? Okay. And will I find it interesting? This is something that I'm going to enjoy doing. Don't try to do some sort of networking that's not going to excite you. Okay. You want to reach out to the lead contact person. Okay. So before it ever starts. So usually you Google them, you find out who the president is. You reach out to the president, okay, and say, I'm interested in coming to this meeting. I don't know anything about it. What can you tell me about it? Okay. And then you ask him or her, I'm in real estate. Is there a person that you know in this group that you would like me to meet? Or I should meet? Okay. Get their name. Okay. So you get a name. Then you want to cyber stalk them. Okay. You Google them, you look them up on Facebook, you look them up on LinkedIn, you learn about them. Okay. So at least you get a picture. Okay. So when you're there and you see this person, you can say, oh, that's the person I need to meet. Okay. So let's say I really, on my list, I would love an estate attorney, state law attorney, right? I get a lot of business from my state law attorney, okay? But let's say I don't have one. And I'm going to a networking group that puts an estate law attorney as part of it. Maybe when that senior provider network, okay, for instance, they have estate law attorneys. So I could call the president of the organization Ask them who they think I should be introduced to. Ask them for the name. And then I can also say, is there a state law attorney or elder law attorney there that you think I should be? Or do you know so and so? And they say, yes. They usually come, would you mind introducing me? I'll get there. Oh, yeah. So you ask for the introduction. You get there early. Don't come in last minute. Come in early so you can introduce yourself to the lead person before everybody else comes in. Okay. And you want to remember frog, okay? Small talk is a big deal, right? Sometimes figuring out small talk is difficult. So frog stands for, it's kind of like Ford, but it's family, recreation, occupation, goals. Business people like to talk about their goals, okay? So that helps you, like, go ahead and come up with a few questions, like think about, do you have any children? Where's your business? What do you do? Things like that. You want to be small talk, okay? Not big talk, but small talk. But have some questions prepared for the people that you meet, okay? And decide who to follow up with and ask for the meeting. So I have a business card folder. Now I do have business cards and I'll put them in there. But if I don't like the person I'm talking with, if I don't feel it, I don't think they're not gonna be fun, okay? Then I will put them on the outside of my business card. But if there's somebody I do like, I'll put them inside of my cards. So I know later who I talk to that I really want to follow up with. But if there's somebody that, and you put them in there, say, I'm gonna follow up with you, see maybe we can have a coffee. Okay, ask for that next meeting. Okay, and you know that you've asked them because you put them inside in a different spot in your business card. So decide who you're gonna follow up, ask for the meeting, reach out before you leave the parking lot. Sit in your car, take their business card, or they text you their contact information. Text them, say, I was so good meeting you. I'm available Tuesday or Wednesday for coffee in the morning before 10 o'clock. Let me know what works best for you. Or do you have Calendly? Have you guys ever heard of Calendly? Write it down. Calendly.com. It costs like, I don't know, $10 a month or something like that. It's Calendly, Calendarly. I can't spell.
It's a math girl.
Calendly.com. And what you do is you link your calendar, and I recommend you have one basic calendar that you use. I have a Google Calendar. So I link it to Calendly. I also link my Zoom account with Calendly, and I create blocks in Calendly of when I do my coffee meetings, when I do my lunch meetings, when I do my BNI one-to-ones, that sort of thing. And I can send somebody the link and they can pick a time that works for them. And it goes in your calendar. You can set up rules. You can say they can't do it more than 24 hours before. So going in what's going on that day. So they can't just do it and expect you to be there in 30 minutes. Okay. So you can send them a link. Here are some times I'm available. Please find a person. Okay. So you make that appointment, you follow up. And you follow up. The key to success in this business, everybody listening, is follow up. You can have all the leads in the world, all the referrals in the world, all the appointments in the world, but if you're not following up, you're not closing business. Okay. Networking groups. Here's an example of some of them. Again, text me or email me your contact information and I will send this PowerPoint out. But here's a sample. Gwinnett Chamber of Commerce, Southeast Chamber of Commerce, that's it over here. Johns Creek Chamber of Commerce, not far from here. Peachtree Corners Business Association, BNI, if you want, when you text me your contact, tell me you'd love to visit my BNI. Not that you can join my BNI, but you can learn what BNI is about and see if it's for you. And then maybe you could join another chapter or create your own chapter. Power Core, that's another closed networking group. I think there's Gwinnett, just Gwinnett networking as well. Then there are service organizations, charity of choice, Rotaries are really good. Social groups, ladies bunko, book clubs, wine with ones, wine groups, alumni groups. Those are all really good. And it's great when you're socializing with other agents, but it's even better when you reach out and you're socializing with people that aren't real estate agents. So create a book club with people that you know. Create a network, a little network. And what are some other groups that you can network? Anybody can think of something? Maybe I haven't thought of it.
Real estate connection. So then real estate connection?
Yeah.
Interpath connect.
Yeah,
So,
that's a good one. You think of a networking group you could go to?
Neighborhood connect.
Realtor. You could do that. What?
Did you share this information on other results or you can to new answer?
Yeah. Well, text me your info and I'll send it to you. So, anybody in Zoom world?
I'm a nerd and I knit. I knit.
You're knitting.
I knit, and I have gotten more business from the circle. We used to knit every Thursday night when there was a yarn store downtown Barnes. And when she closed, we moved to Barnes and Noble. There's a group that comes here to Barnes and Noble. And I have gotten more business from that knitting group, just sitting around, because I think the more they see you and the more they learn to gain your trust, then I think the more you're in front of people, no matter what you like to do. I play bridge, same thing, my bridge group.
See, I used to play too much bridge.
Yeah,
I was a little addicted.
those kind of things. I think the more you're around people like that.
Bridge, yeah. I like to play cards. I like it. Attorneys, one place for you to go is to name our networking on Fridays.
Yeah, that was.
That way you see other real estate agents and other vendors, mortgage people,
Yeah.
insurance people, that kind of thing.
I'm a member, or Michael Gray is a member of the Atlanta Home Builders Association. And then I sit on the Professional Limited Building Board. So
That's great.
Yeah, so, you know,
That's a good,
gives back to the industry.
right, helps branding. And, one thing that you can do on that board is do coffees with people to see if anybody has other, to create those relationships. So,
I like your idea about the attorney too. You just ask your attorney, your personal attorney.
well, attorneys know other attorneys.
That's one thing, but our personal attorney called me one day and said, do you do cross Georgia? And I said, I do. No, I've got this client who needs to sell a house.
That's
And
great,
it turned into like one $150,000 house turned into millions because he had a lot of property.
Oh, wow.
So I think an attorney is a good thing.
Oh, I love attorneys.
Ask your attorney.
I love attorneys. I have a business law attorney who's sent me a lot of business. I sold him his house and he connects me with other attorneys. So, there's a personal injury attorney in my BNI who he would be a good referral to you because there's no overlap. Like he's not gonna sell real estate. He's not gonna close a real estate deal. And you probably aren't doing personal injury in your firm. So that would be a good referral, you know what I'm saying? A good connection.
Yeah.
So divorce attorneys. You guys do divorce law? No. See, that'd be a good referral, right? So connect me with a divorce attorney that doesn't do real estate closings, which they probably don't. But they probably use real estate attorneys because they do some of that, right? Gwinnett Senior Provider Network. So like I said, I got my senior real estate specialist certification. I started going to the Gwinnett Senior Provider Networking meetings, which are once a month. So it's only, hour and a half out of my day, but the real business happens outside. So again, when I go to those, I have my little business cards, who goes where, and then I try to have a coffee or a lunch. But I'm also really good friends with the president of the group. I've known her for years. She got me into that nonprofit I mentioned. So she's a good resource for me because she makes introductions. So that gives me that triangle of trust to other people in the group. So, all right, and here's the communication pyramid. Kind of hard to see, but most of your business is going to happen in the influential zone. Okay, where you're doing phone calls, events, seminars, expos, things like that, and one-to-one meetings. Okay, one thing I got involved with in Neymar is the expo committee. And I know we have some people on the call, like Sandy's on expo, is reach out to your network that have businesses and invite them to be part of the expo. Because we have about 800 to 1,000 people, agents, that come through that. So it's good experience for them. You're getting them in front of agents, and you're promoting them, but it's also helping your relationship with that business. Okay. Books. These, you take a picture if you want to. Books. The Go-Giver by Bob Berg. It's a great little bitty book. It's a wonderful book. The Little Black Book of Selling. I've got that in my office. It's really good. Giver's Gain, Ivan Meisner. He's the one who started BNI. And it's a really good book. 7 Levels of Communication by Michael J. Beer. I love this man. He was with Keller Williams. He left and went to another company with 3 letters. But he's very good. He has a podcast. You can listen to his podcast. Very good. He's the one that talks about the triangle of trust. Okay. And the most powerful, this is one of my new books. The most powerful woman in the room is you. So good thing Joe left. But it's a good book even for men because it talks about business and growing in your career and that kind of thing. It's good for your kids, okay, especially if you have girls. But she's the one that talks about networking in her book, where she says you must network, period. So, and Find Your Six by Patrick Kilner. It's an interesting book. It's by a real estate agent. He talked about finding 6 people that could give you multiple deals. High influencers. So when you think about a high influencer, again, this is something that when you figure out like who do I not have that I need, would be maybe not any CPA, but that ranked 11 or 12 CPA that's in constant contact with his clients who maybe own investment properties. Okay, so I tell you, one of my 6 was a pest control guy, a bug guy. Because he was the guy that actually went in and did the pest control in people's houses. And he was trained, and when he went in there, and all of a sudden this messy house was all of a sudden picked up and there were boxes, he would ask the question, are you thinking about moving? They would say, yes, that's why I'm decluttering. And he would say, do you have an agent? And they would say, yes, I have an agent. And he would say, yeah, train him. Well, have you signed anything with your agent? And they said, no. He said, well, I've got a really good agent you should talk to before you sign anything. And he would refer them to me. If they didn't have an agent, he would refer them to me. The only time he can refer them to me is if they said, yes, they have something signed. So, but, that's really good to have. He's an influencer. He was in that home on a regular basis, they trusted him, they had a good relationship. So when he referred them to an agent, they would listen. I will tell you, I had this client, this referral partner, who's a plumber. Every time he called me, I answered. Because 9 times out of 10, he had somebody in the room with him on speakerphone saying, so-and-so's thinking about buying a house. Or so-and-so's thinking about selling their house. Karen, I want y'all to connect. I mean, you know, that was a big deal. And he knew this guy from his church, a very big church, with tons of real estate agents. And the guy lived in a neighborhood, really good neighborhood with a lot of real estate agents. He had already decided 2 or 3 agents plus Mark Spain, he was gonna, you know, interview to sell his house. And he told his friend, Derek, that he was gonna sell his house. He said, well, you need to talk to Karen. She's my realtor. It's like, I don't need to speak to another agent. He says, I think I'm gonna go with blah, blah, blah. He goes, no. He says, you need to talk to Karen. You need to use Karen because you'd be doing yourself a disservice not to use Karen. That was wonderful. That got me in the door. The guy sat there. And by the time I was done, they listed with me, they bought with me, and he wouldn't even talk to his mortgage person or sign anything until I looked at it. So people in the end realized that was a good referral. And I've gotten referral business from him. So, you know, having those referral partners as people in your network are so very important. And again, you've got to teach them how to refer to you, and you've got to know how they're going to do it. You've got to know if he's calling you, you need to pick up your phone. Okay. And that's it. And remember, if you build it, people will come. Just create your database. I know that when I do bold, trying to come up with 20 people to call every day, that's really tough. But you can add people by just doing networking. Okay, you can add, and I also think sometimes calling 5 really good people that are gonna, you know, those referral partners is as important as calling 20 people. Okay, it's quality sometimes over quantity. So, any questions or comments? So, before you leave, I have 4 of these. So does anybody need one that? Okay,
Sure, if they need it.
okay, I'll email it. I'll still email it to you or text it to you. If you have any questions, call me, and if you want to come to Bonnie and I, please do. So Business Networking International, it's this company, it's a network, it's a closed networking group. So there's only one person allowed per profession. So there's only one real estate attorney. There's only one real estate residential. There's a commercial agent. There's a property manager. So you can have multiple agents in a group. You could have a business broker who buys and helps people buy and sell businesses. They always have their own business, but there's other people, like we have plumbers, electrician, bud guy, blender, you know, we've got a lot of different spots. We have 40 people in our group. It's a great group. So it's going to come see how things should be. And then if there's an opening somewhere, you can apply for that, or you can create your own. So.
Well, thank you. Thank you for the information.
Thank you for the information. Yes. Cool. I'm not gonna exit out so I get everybody's email from Zoom World. If you want, just text me or put in the chat your email address. We're done.
I have a question, but it's not about this class.
Okay.
For you, is there any promotion I have? It's about.
Star, because it might be, the village is up or whatever, so do star.
I have, in county, I have these things, so it's best. I'm changing the whole deal. And these people don't count on that value. So now, we don't even know. It's in Paul. Ogni giorno mi porto la mia via, dico niente,
Remember people at the tax.
and then you'll be, there, no, apply, a fair kind of apply, right? After the time, you're so, like, in the day, you check those, you the second. You got 61 results. You got the, so you're going to export it. Export, you export to. Comes in as numbers. Okay, I know, you think this is very good. So I know where you want is that one? You just like. So, and how you do the labor? So that gives you the expenses sheet, and then you go back. I'm still, I don't, I think that's why you're sending it to. Yeah. I'm sending it to a friend, I didn't do anything with the file. And you know, he's the machine. It's very principal. You said you shouldn't get that, you said I shouldn't get. What do you think? No, where is it? Who's gonna say? Who's saying? I like it. It's like pulling into Excel. And I create it at home. Then I'll do it by the one from the like, if I think that she is a good, so you can show me shop. Like you can listen and explain things to the point that they don't think. As I set myself up, I contemplated so set yourself up. Okay. And then you start putting that in. That's okay, let me show you. Like I have a meeting right now, we can use my meeting as no, my thing is another little thing. This is what I need. So this is regular. So. First of all, I would. He's like, he's in that, and the roots are in the song, isn't it? So you would just fill out what it was. I could take you. And you're doing it. Yes. Yeah, because that house was in kind of young people. Then you see how long it was in the market. I'm so proud we are, I don't have anybody that's going to here. Right. Sounds like about myself. Yeah, I think that's my stream a little bit like that. I should live this team for it. Keep the kind of washing machine, I should go down on his way. I think you're going to school. I never say I'm really doing it. Oh, what are they doing? What are they doing? What are they doing? Which will be better. Only yeah, you're gonna discover, but when you go, it might be starting out with that shit. She should. As long as things fix. Yeah. I think, okay, well, it just wasn't. It is a focus, you should turn off the MLS sheet. You go to the course, the schedule showing telling you, they go to the property. If you see anything that's come to here, so like, for example, say it has. It has water. Some things that may have generally been selling, you know, they're negative. So, and if you just create a, either a Google, I don't know, drive. Folder of that property, don't worry. I use Dropbox. So I'll create, folder. There's some, I should say this, and then it could be a really nice, you could say this is a really nice house, they have upgrades, they have stuff, you know, some cabinets, whatever, make some notes. And then you start complaining. So if somebody does come and ask, start listening to it, Karren Amidon sold 3 months ago, you know a lot about that house. Because you in the total, you know, you know, so also, when you think about this, good question, and there were contracts. Things right. But they're all just. Right? Now we use this comp because of this. It's not. So you start that confidence, y'all.
I told the owner, I told her, my opinion is when I did my presentation was the 43rd. And then they wanna listen before we speak. And now we've been in the market. And it's a good property, you know. We have a good feature and all of that. I don't think 또 이유가 없는데. I kind of reason to view for 지금은 right now I don't even No, I did she wanted me loaded 30,000 that's quick and I just think it was 4 people. We know the price of 30,000 I had no See, the house that is in my street, the 4 people that is pending is nothing like that. And it's like a completely different. I can understand that it's gonna be better. These So I think we just have to do it.
Karen, can you hear me? Karen?
Yes,
Is the class started again? I'm not hearing any information. The
We're
slides
done.
are changing.
I'm sorry, Joe, we're done.
Oh.
I didn't exit out.
All right, thank you.
All right, sorry about that.
What do you call that from? But you say we think we don't. You.
Yeah, but see, I left the Zoom on.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
嗯，嗯，嗯，嗯，